Magirawasu and the Wolf Warrior of the North. The wind howled through the northern mountains, carrying with it the scent of snow and blood. Magirawasu, the young samurai, had journeyed deep into the wilderness, far beyond the borders of his homeland, in search of a legendary warrior who had been spoken of only in whispers. It was said that in the farthest reaches of the north, where the sun barely touched the land and the nights lasted for weeks, there lived a wolf warrior being who was neither man nor beast, but something in between. A creature cursed to walk the earth in the form of a wolf, yet possessing the mind and spirit of a warrior. His name was Takahiro, and he had once been a great samurai before the curse claimed him. The locals spoke of his ferocity in battle, of his unmatched skill with the sword, but they also spoke of his darkness. The curse had twisted him into something savage, and now he was both protector and predator, defending his homeland from invaders, but leaving behind a trail of bodies, those who dared cross his path. Magirawasu had heard of Takahiro's deeds in his youth, and knew the tales were not mere legend. The wolf warrior had slaughtered entire armies of invaders with the speed and strength of a wolf, and none had dared challenge him. But now, it was said that the warrior had retreated deep into the mountains, unwilling to face his past or the curse that chained him to a half-life. Magirawasu could not let the mystery remain unsolved. He needed to find Takahiro not just for the sake of honor, but to understand the price of power and what it truly meant to be a warrior. The first encounter. After days of climbing the icy slopes, Magirawasu finally reached the entrance to a dark cave, the air thick with the smell of damp earth and animal musk. The cave was deep, its walls carved by time, and as he ventured further inside, the shadows seemed to grow, stretching toward him like the claws of a predator. Suddenly, the temperature dropped. A low growl echoed from the depths of the cave, and Majirawasu's hand instinctively gripped the hilt of his katana. "Who dares enter my domain?" The voice, low and gravelly, came from the darkness. "I am Magirawasu, a samurai from the south. I seek the wolf warrior, Takahiro," he called out, his voice steady despite the eerie tension. A pair of glowing eyes appeared from the shadows, reflecting the moonlight that barely made its way into the cave. The figure that emerged was neither fully human nor fully wolf. Takahiro stood tall, his muscular frame covered in fur, with sharp claws and fangs. His eyes, once full of honor, now gleamed with a primal fury. "You seek the wolf," Takahiro said, stepping into the moonlight. "But do you understand what it means to be both man and beast?" Magirawasu stood firm, unfazed by the monstrous form before him. "I seek to understand. I am no stranger to duality. My sword is my soul, but my heart is human." The dual Takahiro's lips curled into a half-smile, recognizing the strength in Magirawasu's resolve. "Then you must face me," he growled, raising his claws. "If you wish to understand, you must fight me. Only in battle can you truly know the price of being bound to both man and wolf." Without warning, Takahiro lunged forward, his claws slashing the air. Magirawasu reacted instinctively, drawing his katana and parrying the attack. The force of the blow sent a shock through his arm, and he realized that Takahiro's strength far surpassed that of any human. The two warriors clashed in the cold cave, their movements fluid and deadly. Takahiro's wolf-like agility allowed him to strike with blinding speed, while Magirawasu's samurai training gave him the discipline and precision needed to defend himself. The sound of steel meeting claws echoed through the cave, a rhythmic dance of life and death. With every strike, Magirawasu could feel Takahiro struggle his curse, his rage, and his sorrow. There was a sadness in the wolf warrior's eyes, as if he had long since given up on redemption. But Magirawasu did not relent. He was not here to defeat the man who had once been a warrior of honor. He was here to understand his torment. As the duel reached its peak, Takahiro's movement slowed, his strength waning. Magirawasu's blade found an opening, but instead of striking for the kill, he stepped back and lowered his weapon. "You are not a monster, Takahiro," Magirawasu said softly. "You are a warrior, lost in the curse of your own power. I have come to help you find your way, not to destroy you." Takahiro growled, his form flickering between man and wolf as the curse fought against his will. For a moment, it seemed as though he might strike down the young samurai, But then his shoulders slumped in defeat. "It has been so long since anyone looked at me as a man," Takahiro whispered. "But the wolf inside me is always there, always hungry." The path of redemption, Magirawasu, extended a hand to the cursed warrior. "You don't have to fight alone anymore. Together we can lift the curse, or at least learn to live with it. There is no honor in death for the sake of power, only in understanding." Takahiro's glowing eyes softened, and for the first time in years, he lowered his claws. "Perhaps you are right, young samurai. Perhaps the greatest battle is not against the enemy, but against the darkness inside oneself." Magirawasu and Takahiro spent the following weeks training together in the northern mountains, learning from each other. Magirawasu shared his knowledge of the samurai code, and Takahiro taught him the ways of the wild, the strength of the wolf, and the honor of the warrior. In the end, Magirawasu did not just defeat a foe, he freed a soul bound by the chains of its own nature. And in doing so, he learned that the greatest battles were not fought with swords, but with understanding and compassion. Epilogue. The wolf warrior of the north was no longer a beast to be feared, but a warrior to be respected. Takahiro, once a monster, found peace in the company of the young samurai who had seen beyond the curse. And as they parted ways, the winds of the northern mountains whispered their names, carrying with them the tale of the samurai who had understood the true nature of both man and beast.